Hello everyone, welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my best market tips ever. So if you are wanting to do craft shows coming up, if you are just wanting to learn more about it, prepare yourself, I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 best tips about how to do it. I did 3 last year and I learned a lot. There was a lot I wish I did differently. But hopefully I can help spread that information to you guys so that way you do not have to do the mistakes that I did. So let's get. So number 1 on my list is sharing a vendor space. The main thing that turned me off from doing craft markets was a lot of them had like $100 to $150 fees. But I was just starting out. I didn't know if I was gonna make any profit or not. I was really nervous, and honestly, I'm really glad for my first event I did share space with another vendor because I think I made like $150. The space was $100 and I would have only made $50 in profit, but I only paid $50, so I got like $100 in profit, which is great. Not all events do this. It was more of like pop-up shops that have been like more willing to let you do this. I know like conventions, there's like I live in Las Vegas, there's LV craft shows. They do not allow you to do it, probably to get more people to want to buy their own space. But it never hurts to ask if you don't have enough like inventory, or you are just starting out, you don't know if you're gonna like make enough. So it's always nice to share a vendor space. I sometimes just throw it out in like a Facebook group that I'm in. I was like, hey guys, I'm looking for someone who wants to share this space with me this day, this time. The fee is this much, but you only have to pay this much. So yeah, a lot of people would be willing to do it. The only thing I do recommend is you don't want someone who's doing the same thing you are doing. You don't want to invite competition to be right next to you. And although I don't see like other crochet artists as competition, because like it's just a really great community, but when you are trying to sell and you have someone else who's right next to you, you're not going to have as good of an outcome as if it was you and like someone who does jewelry or someone who does, I don't know, like tumbler cups. So just make sure that you're not choosing someone who does the same thing as you. It's just more helpful for you in that sense. The next thing I will say is multiple forms of payment. So I've probably had like 70-80% of my payment come from card, but I also have people who want to do Zelle, Venmo, cash, and you just want to be able to accept all of those things. You want to make sure that it's available to them because you don't want to miss out on a sale because you didn't have that available. So just make sure that you have like all of them listed. I'm actually going to be hopefully printing out the QR codes for those and having them up in like little picture frames so people can see them, and just it'll be so much easier. I think that is really helpful, and if you have signage of it, people will be less intimidated to ask like, oh, do you take this, do you take this? Which brings me to my next one, is having signage everywhere. People want to be more informed than less informed. I'm going to be doing signage of prices, of payment methods I take. I'm going to be including a sign of why crochet is so expensive, that it explains like it's all homemade, it's like it can't be replicated by a machine, that it takes hours of work for some pieces. And so signage just is really helpful, especially if you have multiple customers in the same booth and you can't get to them, so that way they at least can see the prices, see all the information that they want to get, rather than like just waiting for you to be done or moving on. So I think that is also really important. That's something I didn't really do. I had like 10 of these little chalkboard signs that are about that big, and I wrote the price of them. And while it was still like giving them the price, I just wish that I was a little more clear. Right now, I am doing these little price tags on them. So anything that is like I only have one of these leggy frogs, so I want to do that. So far I only have one peep. I'm putting it on these. I am going to be doing like little chalkboard signs for like my octos because I have a ton of those. So yeah, I think it's just really important for people to be able to see everything, you know. My next tip is variety in prices. Some people are going to these events specifically to buy stuff, but other people are just kind of walking along and they're like, oh, that's going on, why don't we check it out? And so some people either have a big budget because they're planning on spending money and they might buy those high price items. It's important to have those in case people want to buy the high ticket items. But you also want to have a very good budget friendly like section where if people are just walking by and they only have like $5-10 on them, that they can pick up like something small and be like, oh, this is so cute, why don't I just get it? I have the money on me right now. So I think it's just really important to have like lots of tiers. Sometimes I will like organize my table where some things are like the higher price. I'll have like a section that's lower price. I am gonna be adding like a little clearance section this time. It's gonna be like my projects that didn't turn out exactly I'd hoped, so I don't want to like make people pay full price, if you know what I mean. So I just think it is very important to do that. At my first and second market, I didn't really have anything that was that high of a price. I probably had like $25 items, and some of them sold, yeah, but like this time I'm gonna be including this big turtle I'm selling for $45. I have a jumbo owl I'm selling for $60, and a big turtle I'm selling for $70. And while I'm not expecting people to buy them, but how cool would it be if I brought it, someone bought it, and then I would have been upset if I didn't bring it. So just remember, sometimes the right customer is there and they will want it. My next one is get a square reader. They are either $10 on Amazon, or if you sign up online, you can get it for free. It is so freaking awesome because there's a Square app, keeps track of all your inventory. You just like plug it into your iPhone if you have one, or iPad or whatever, and you just kind of tap on whatever the person is buying, and then it just calculates it all for you. You also can add tax on there if you need to do tax, but it's just really awesome because I just think it's very cohesive, especially because I use Squarespace for my website, and so everything is linked. All of my stock is just linked on there. It's super easy to, it just all works together. So definitely get a Square reader. It's probably the easiest for debit and credit card transactions. It's been a pretty good game changer. Also, they are small, so if you lose things easily, get a second one. I have been at markets where I set it down somewhere and I'm like, oh my god, where did I put it? And so I got a little mini heart attack when I'm 5 minutes into the market, I can't find it, and I'm worried I can't do any card sales. So get two if you think that that might be helpful. My next one is to promote. If you have like a lot of social media, you do great on it. For me, my social media, I have a lot of other crochet artists who follow me. That's mainly who does. I don't really have customers, and so when you're at these markets, you have the opportunity to hand out business cards, to have people follow you, to try and engage, because those are all the people who are actually wanting to buy from you. Those are everyone who is going to look at your page, see the new stuff that you make, and be like, oh my gosh, I bought a chicken from her last time, I loved it, she was so sweet, I want to buy this new thing that she made. And so when you are in an in-person market, you have all of the customers there who will want to actually buy from you. And it's so great having the community of crocheters, but I think you also want a following of people who are customers and want to see what you make and want to purchase from you. And that's how you can get more online sales. So it's just really important to kind of have that balance, and this is just the perfect time for foot traffic and to be handing out your business cards. Sometimes I will purposely do a giveaway where it's like, oh, follow me on Instagram, tag your friends, so all of their other friends are also customers. And I'm just like bringing all these people who have never seen my business before, and now they can keep me in mind and they will see my stuff pop up on their feed. So promote when you can. And that takes me into my other one, which is get business cards. They are awesome, and it's especially if you can make it more aesthetic with your brand. People will recognize it. They will look at the card and just remember like, oh my god, I remember her whole setup. It looks very like aesthetically pleasing like this. It'll take them back to that, and they will follow you. They will do all these things. They're going to have that business card, and while not many of them will do anything with it, but those small few, you might get those customers on your social media. So just do it. Especially if they buy from you, they might want to buy again. You don't know what will happen. So the next one, I will say, use your judgment with what you put out. So it doesn't really matter with me right now because I'm going to be having a clearance section, and it's going to have some like random things there. But if you're just wanting a full beautiful setup and you do plushies and just all of these stuffed animals, and then you have like a random hat or like just one random book sleeve or something, it can look very just not, it doesn't work together. And so if you want it to be more cohesive, I would say bring more of them, bring more accessories, or bring more hats like that. But if you just have like one or two, it might be a little weird if you just have it sitting out. So maybe have a section that says clearance on it, so that way they know like, oh, maybe this was from her last season or something and she just has a few extra. But I even have this hat right here I'm going to be bringing, but I'm going to be putting it in my clearance section because everything else is stuffed animals, and this just doesn't fit in. And it's just gonna be kind of awkward. I don't want it to like mess with the flow of everything. So if you just have like those few odd items that you have, maybe have a little clearance section for it, or just specify that it's like not your normal stuff. It can be really nice for the customer to like go see like what other stuff you can do, especially if like crochet is your main, where you're making all the plushies. So yeah, I would suggest maybe just making like a little clearance section for them. Another one is keeping track of your inventory. So before every market, while I'm prepping, like I write out all the stuff I've made, the quantity of it. I don't know if you could see very well, but I write out like how much I have, and then I just keep like going from there. And then when I set up, I jot down how much I have of everything as well. And then I go through all my sales, all of that. I will write down everything that I sold. And then at the end of the day, if I have stuff left over, I'll go through it again too, just to make sure like I'm not missing anything, to make sure nothing got stolen. Not that you can do anything about it, but it's nice to know that like everything is matching up. And if things are missing, you can know to keep a better track of those items or how to display them better. It's just also really good to just make sure you're tracking, keeping your finances together. It's something I do at every single market. I didn't do my first one, but it was really helpful with my second and third. And then my last tip is to bring supplies with you. I have had so many of my things either have like all the fuzzies that are sticking out, and so I bring like a lint roller. I've had eyes fall out. I have had like when I'm setting up I see holes and things. So just having a darning needle with like some extra yarn, it's really nice that I can just sew that up really fast, because you don't want to be putting some bad quality things out there. You want to be able to fix things. Like I one time had a customer who bought a chicken, was going around playing with it. She came back and one of the eyes fell out. So I was like, oh, I can fix that for you. So I just went ahead and fixed it. It was really good that I was prepared in that situation. Otherwise, she would have unfortunately had been missing an eye. So I just think that it's also just really good to be prepared with everything that you might need. You want to be able to fix stuff so that way you don't have to keep things off your shelves. So yeah, I really hope all of this helped. If you have any other questions for market tips, I am so down to answer them in the comments if you need. But yeah, and if you guys are doing a market anytime soon, please comment. I'd love to hear about it. Tell me about what you're bringing. Tell me where it's at so we can all just see each other's events, you know? So please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.